My dear Frodo, hobbits really are amazing creatures. You can learn all that there is to know about their ways in a month, and yet after 100 years, they can still surprise you.
Hobbits. If any creatures in Lord of the Rings immediately put a smile on our faces, it's them. They are a homely, friendly bunch who remind us of ordinary folk but capable of extraordinary feats. So I thought in this short video we would listen to Hobbits' accents and how they have developed. J.R. Tolkien was an English author, and in his mythologies he wanted to represent the British Isles as a magical land before it was destroyed by industrialization. That's one of the reasons orcs sound so evil, as they represent the degradation of environment, and I talked about it in my other video why orcs sound so stupid. Now, Tolkien used the idea of found manuscripts on which he based his stories to create mythology. The Red Book of Westmarch was a collection of memoirs and tales written by hobbits, Bilbo, Frodo and Sam, as a diary describing the events of the Hobbit and Lord of the Rings. Now, from Tolkien fan forum, we learn that part of the myths is a story in which Tolkien is a character who finds these manuscripts and translates them from Westron, an ancient language from Adonaic, the language of Númenóreans. Now, it doesn't sound as English at all, but he translates it into the modern English of his time. And this includes names and nouns, which is why everyone sounds British in depictions of the Hobbit and Lord of the Rings. So I guess if Tolkien was Polish, they would sound Slavic, right? The depictions of hobbits could match those of West Country residents, a loosely defined area of southwest England where I live. It's Gloucestershire, Bristol, Devon, Cornwall, Dorset, west of London and south of Wales. And these regions are portrayed as more rural with a specific dialect. It's characterized by saying R when speaking, which we don't do in standard speech.
When you're speaking with a West Country accent, we do pronounce the R. So, for example, if we were to say the following words: farm.
Farm.
So I do a long vowel R, but Tom did R and made the R rhotic.
And Samwise Gamgee is a perfect example. He's a working hobbit, a gardener and a proud community member. And he has the West Country accent to match.
It's like in the great stories, Mr. Frodo. The ones that really mattered.
However, the other Hobbit accents aren't as consistent, especially in the Lord of the Rings trilogy, and people have wondered why. There are a few reasons for this. A more forgiving explanation is that the Shire is a large area and, like as in the UK, the accents vary even from city to city. They don't have to be far away from each other too, right? Alright, maybe with the impact of the internet and also young people moving around more frequently now, it's not the case anymore. But when Tolkien was young, we can imagine that the differences were much stronger. Samwise Gamgee was born and bred in Hobbiton, Frodo and Merry from Brandy Hall, and Pippin was a Took from Great Smiles. So different areas of the Shire could explain the different accents. Frodo and Bilbo are from a wealthy family, and their RP, received pronunciation accent, reflects that.
But he was destroyed. Sauron was destroyed.
No. Wait, it's here in my pocket.
Especially compared to Sam, who was the gardener.
I wonder if people will ever say, "Let's hear about Frodo and the Ring." And they'll say, "Yes, it's one of my favorite stories."
Now, when it comes to Merry and Pippin and their portrayals in the movies, the explanation is much simpler: casting. Billy Boyd, who played Pippin, is a Scottish actor who stuck to his native accent.
What about breakfast?
You've already had it.
We've had one, yes. What about second breakfast?
It's possible they left it because it was more natural for him to speak like that. If we listen to Merry though, I guess it's something like in between of West Country and standard speech.
If I were a knight of Rohan, capable of great deeds, but I'm not. I'm a hobbit.
But in the end, Frodo and Sam They were Americans, Merry was British, Pippin was Scottish, so naturally they have different accents. So I guess the explanation of being from like different regions could be a stretch, right? But it works. Lord of the Rings trilogy and subsequent portrayals of hobbits are, of course, also a creative interpretation of filmmakers and actors. The differences are to reflect the world and the regions of the Shire, but also a simple fact of casting actors from different countries and using dialect cultures. But if we want to buy into Tolkien mythology, we can always say that it's all translated from Western and, the found manuscripts. And like with any other old stories, we do best we can to interpret them in our modern times. Thanks for watching, like and subscribe.
I made a promise, Mr. Frodo. A promise.